Hey cats, what's up? You know, it's not riding weather. Driveway's all ice going down through there. We got a lot of snow yesterday. It snowed all day. We only have maybe about 5 inches of snow, but it's all from Lake Erie. Lake Erie is about an hour, a little less than an hour north of us. V and I like to go up there. In fact, we went up there last week one day, and it was real windy, and the waves were just like the ocean. They were crashing up on the shore and just eating away the sand. It was crazy. It was interesting to see. But anyway, the weather was coming due south yesterday, and it was bringing all this stuff right off the lake and dumping it over here all day long. So, not riding weather. For all of us that are bikers here in Northeast Ohio, we love to ride, but I won't take my bike out in the winter because the roads, even after a snow like this, the roads are all covered with salt. Obviously, the trucks were plowing and salting all day yesterday, so that road is just caked with salt. And even if all this snow melted and it dried up tomorrow, the salt is still there. And the salt's done enough damage on my scooter that I'm just not going to do it anymore. But I see guys riding on some of these days when it's like 50 degrees, and I get a little envious. I think, boy, that would be nice. I should take the bike out. But then I go, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Don't do it, Mark. Don't do it. And I won't. But I wonder about them, and I think, do they know? What they're doing to their bike? Are they going to wash their bike when they get home? Do they have a nice heated bay to wash it and dry it off? I don't know. My man cave isn't heated, and I don't have water out there. I have water on the corner of the house here, but the hose is probably frozen right now, and there's really no place to wash it here, even if I did take it out in this kind of weather. Anyway, riding's been on my mind today, so let's talk. V and I were reminiscing this morning about riding and some of the rides we've been on. We've been on a lot of rides. We've been on rides with groups, with clubs, and we've been on rides just the two of us, and I've been on rides just by myself, solo. What do you prefer? What do I prefer? Well, I'll tell you. Let's talk about a group first. You want to ride with a group. Maybe they're your friends. That's good. It's good to have friends. It's good to have people that you can have fun with, that you can enjoy. People you can trust to ride with, though. I've ridden in groups where there's been some novice riders, and that's not always the greatest situation. I rode years ago, rode with a group, and one of the guys was not the greatest rider. He would ride way over along the berm, along the edge of the road, and he was always riding probably like 5 miles under the speed limit, so he could never keep up with the group. And in between stops, he would fall so far behind, nobody even knew where he was. And I felt bad for the guy, so a lot of times I was the one who would turn around, go back, find him, and then ride with him to the next stop where the rest of the group was. It was a little frustrating, especially, if you want to enjoy the group or spend time with the group. And I felt like, even though I really liked this guy and I felt bad for him, his riding experience wasn't that good at all. And he kind of dampered the fun for my day because I felt almost like I had to take care of him. But there's been other situations too. I've ridden with groups where they're all friends, it's all fun, but let's say the guy at the head of the group decides he's going to ride a little faster. Maybe he's a little bit of a show off. So the rest of the group starts to speed up to catch up with him. And the next thing you know, some of the people are riding far above their skill level because they're trying to keep up with the leader. Maybe the leader feels confident. He doesn't realize that he's pulling the rest of these people almost like a train because they're trying to keep up with him. And that could be a recipe for disaster, and I've seen disaster happen before. Somebody goes into a curve way too fast for what their experience is, and boom, they're in the guardrail. Fortunately, I've never seen anybody real seriously injured, but I've seen some bikes messed up and some people skinned up pretty good. So that's another thing riding with groups. I've ridden with groups where people want to do what I call hot dog, doing wheelies or burnouts or flying past a group at 100 miles an hour and cutting in ahead of the pack. And that stuff doesn't go over well with me either. Now, the other part with riding with a group is when you're with the group, you do as the group does. You stop where the group stops. You go where the group goes. And that hasn't always been real favorable with me either, because some of the experience I've had is where the group stops for coffee or donuts or something. And next thing you know, 2 hours has gone by and we're not riding. We're sitting in some dive somewhere, not doing anything. This isn't what I signed up for. I wanted to ride. I wanted to be on the bike, going to a not sitting in some dingy old dive somewhere. So I've been in that kind of a situation too. That being said, the group, even though I'm riding with friends, people I enjoy riding with, I would prefer not to ride with a group. My preference. Not saying I won't ride with the group. I just prefer not to. Now, when you ride with a club, it's a whole different thing because the club has rules and the club has specific. You pretty much got to follow the guidelines. You have a place in line, you stay there. You'll have a specific destination you're going to. You follow the group till you get there. If there's any monkey business, you're going to hear about it. So that's a whole different thing, but we won't go into that right now. Riding solo by yourself has always been my favorite mode of riding because I can go my own speed. I can stop when I want to stop. I can go where I want to go. And I don't have the arguments with other people, or if you don't want to argue, you just go with the flow and you go wherever they go. I prefer not to do that. I like to do my own thing. So, kind of independent, I guess. I've always been independent. Kind of different from the normal, I guess. Call it weird. Maybe I'm odd, different from a lot of people, but that's just the way I'm wired, I've never been real social. In fact, all through grade school, and I was pretty much an introvert, stayed to myself a lot. I had one or two friends, that was about it. I grew up out in the country in a rural area, so I didn't have many friends there. It wasn't like living in a neighborhood where you got all kinds of kids to hang around with and do stuff with. So I was kind of a loner, and I kind of grew up that way and prefer my independence, being able to do what I want to do. I don't know, call it selfish, maybe self-centeredness. I try not to be self-centered, but maybe that's a self-centered way of thinking, that I want to do my thing and I don't want to be like anchored to what everybody else wants to do. I'm not a follower. I want to be a leader. I guess that's the bottom line. So, yeah, I'd rather ride solo. Now, I have been the leader before in groups and even with the club, riding point, and I think I do pretty good with that because I take into consideration everybody behind me and what their riding skills are. But riding by myself, yeah, I can go my own speed and stop when I want to stop. Most of the time, I don't like to stop unless I get to my destination. Whereas I've been with groups where, they want to stop every 20 minutes, every half hour or so, and take a break and stretch their legs and maybe go to a bar and have a beer, and nah, not my bag. I guess I've never been real good on depending on other people because I don't know. Sometimes I just am disappointed. When people say we're going to meet here and we're going to leave at this time, and I'm there, and maybe a few others are there, but there's always that one person that lags way behind, and are they coming or not? Let me try calling them. They're not answering their phone. I don't know where they are. Should we wait? Should we go? Let's hang around a little bit longer. 10 minutes goes by, 15 minutes goes by, a half hour goes by, and 35 minutes later, here they come. Oh, yeah. Oh, we had to do this or we had to do that. We had to stop and get fuel. And, well, think ahead because you got a whole group here you're riding with. It's not just about you. So those kind of things perturb me too. So when I ride solo, I go when I want to go. I leave when I want to leave. I get there when I want to get there. And if I don't like it when I get there, I can leave when I want to leave and go somewhere else. If I'm hungry, I can go get something to eat. If I need a potty break, I take it. That's my preference. So I don't know where you guys are at. I know some of you prefer riding with a group. You feel safer with a group. You have others there that you can count on, lean on. I don't know, maybe you're afraid if you break down you'll be all alone, or you won't have anybody there to help out, or maybe you're not good at directions and you like to follow the group because they know where they're going and you just tag along and follow. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's all your personal preference. I'm pretty good at directions. I usually know where I'm going, so I don't need to follow people. In fact, sometimes I think I know better ways to get there, but that's beside the point. So that's my talk today. That's all I got about that. I'm sure you got some viewpoints on it too. Whether you prefer to ride independently, solo, or whether you like to ride with a group. Maybe you're in a club and you ride with them all the time. Maybe that's just the way you roll. I've been there. I've done that both ways. All ways. I've experienced it all, and I've seen it all. So I think from here on out, probably won't be a lot of group rides for me, and definitely won't be any more club rides for me. I'm done with that stuff. Be sure and give my video a thumbs up, and please subscribe. Hit that red subscribe button and sign yourself up to watch the rest of my videos as they come along. We do 2 a week. Very rarely do we miss. Once in a while we'll get behind, but we try to stay on it. Every Thursday night, every Sunday night, 8 o'clock, we're posting. If we're not, something else came up and we just couldn't be there for you. But we will give it 100% of our shot to try to be there for you. Once you're subscribed, hit the little bell, bing, little notification bell, lets you know when we post a new video. And if you really enjoy us, tell your friends about us and get them hooked up on this wagon too. So, boy, I wish I could say let's ride, but you take a look outside there. It's a little cold and snowy, and it's even snowing some today. Ugh. Can't wait for springtime. Till next time, guys, ride hard and die free.